to know myself, and BetterHelp makes that possible.
Quoting, this is from the Russian president, "We aren't threatening anyone, but that's what the war has done to Ukraine. Almost 4 months now and counting. Russia has been dropping bombs, and it's not done yet. Vladimir Putin is chasing a decisive victory, and for that, he's ready to push the nuclear button. The Russian president says they're deploying nuclear missiles. Listen to this.
Our armed forces now have the unrivaled S-500 air and missile defense systems. Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missiles have been successfully tested. We're planning for the first such complex will be deployed by the end of the year.
Nuclear missiles, the deadliest weapons in Putin's armor. He's threatening to use them. Listen to what he said last week, and I'm quoting. This is from the Russian president. "We aren't threatening anyone, but everyone should be aware of what we have and what we will use, if required, to protect our sovereignty." Vladimir Putin was talking about nuclear missiles. He wants to deploy them by the end of this year, 2022. How serious is this threat? And where can Russia use these nukes? On Gravitas tonight, that's what we'll discuss. First, let's show you the weapon that Putin is talking about. This is it. It's called the Sarmat. It's also called the Saith. Now, this is an ICBM, or Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. What's an ICBM? It's basically a large missile, usually designed to deliver nuclear warheads. It has a minimum range of 5,000 kilometers. That's the criterion to define the ICBM. The Sarmat is the largest ICBM anyone has bothered to build. Putin has made some very big claims about this weapon. He says it can hit, quote unquote, any target on Earth. It's basically a large missile, usually designed to deliver nuclear warheads. It has a minimum range of 5,000 kilometers. That's the criterion to define the ICBM. The Sarmat is the largest ICBM anyone has bothered to build. Putin has made some very big claims about this weapon. He says it can hit, quote unquote, any target on Earth. Any target. It travels at speeds of more than 25,000 kilometers per hour, and it can carry more than 10 warheads. Of course.
All right, Shalom. This is Yahawah by Yahawah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahawah, by Hashem Yahawashi, by Hashem Harakar Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nakwati, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is Jeremiah 50 and 9. For lo, I will raise, Salaki verse 8. Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks, man. All right? So the he-goats is like the leaders of the flock. So we represent that. So we're supposed to follow the shepherd. All right? So basically leading our people out is what this is saying. Come, get our minds out of this place and lead others out as well. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, man. All right, so a bunch of nations are going to come against this place, and Russia's in the north as well. All right, that's why you see the recent G7 with all the European nations and America showing their allegiance and unity. But then you see Africa, I think it was Pakistan, if I'm not mistaken, China, all the BRICS nations, BRICS, all of those nations showing their allegiance against America and against the West. All right. And they shall set themselves in array against her. See? From thence, so once you see those nations fully come together like Voltron, that's when you know the Lord is completing that prophecy and moving to the next stage. It says what? From thence she shall be taken. All right? And their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain, man. So when they finally shoot these missiles that Russia's talking about, which is not going to be like everybody thinks, like they just shoot, and then all of a sudden, like they just shoot, and then all of a sudden it's just war all over the world. No, it's going to be tactical nukes shut off in different places over there in Ukraine. Excuse me, small tactical nukes, lightweight nukes, or something that can shoot from. They said they have a bunch of missiles hidden all around Ukraine. You know, the borders of it, in the ground. So, you know, you're still gonna have the kickoff to the war, or the fire start in other places, to ultimately end up over here is a direct war with America. All right, and the time is gonna be perfect because according to the Most High's will. That's why you see everything talking about the end of the year. They're talking about the recession here in America, that possibly by the end of the year, which could lead quickly into the MOTB. And now you have Russia talking about using their nukes by the end of the year. All right, because they said if America threatens them, now America and NATO have you know, in the EU they have just forced Lithuania to block the Kaliningrad transit. You know, blocking them Russians, basically blocking a Russian military base from moving their equipment to Russia and their goods back and forth. And America has now sent those missiles over to Ukraine, allegedly. And NATO just sent and got combat ready 300,000 NATO troops to prepare to go to war with Russia. 300,000, that's a lot. All right. See? But they're still going to lose the battle because it's going to be the Most High's will. All right. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. You know, over there in Europe, and America is going to be a spoil. All right, so it's basically talking about America right here. So this place is going to be a spoil for Russia and those nations, and China. And all that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahawah. See that? So what's going to be the outcome of this? Ultimately, Russia's going to win the war against America. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of my heritage. Because ye are grown fat as an heifer at grass, and bellow of bulls, America has grown rich, and you know, and still to this day is oppressing our people. All right, because she said, yeah, they're bringing out the ICBMs. And she was like, what is that? It is an intercontinental ballistic missile that's spoken of in the scriptures, called arrows in the Bible. All right, arrow that can be shot from one end of earth to the other, and cause the earth to shake and people to burn up. That's clearly a missile. And it looks like a sword in the sky, a glittering sword from the sunlight. You know, or the fire that's around it, or the metallic covering of these missiles. It says here, 2 Ezra 16 and 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, man. All right, so they're prepared. You know, and it basically can pierce through anything, can destroy anything in its path. They said this is the biggest missile on the earth right now that anybody has set out to make, called the Satan II, Sarmat, and it can go anywhere in the world, man. That's the waster. It says, and shall not miss. See that? So the missile's not going to miss. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, man. Not just when they getting shot in certain regions, like a regional war, but when they begin to be shot. Once the nations come together fully, they still forming right now their alliances. And next thing you know, they're gonna shoot them missiles, man. And when they begin to be shot, they shall not miss. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. That means what? It's not talking about your basic arrows. It's talking about missiles that can travel kilometers. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. So the Most High ordered it in heaven, so it's going to happen upon the earth. The fire is kindled. See, the fire is kindled. It's going to be kindled all around the world, ultimately all up until the final judgment. So there's going to be wars that break out and nuclear, going into the nuclear war. Instead of like in World War II, they entered into the nuclear age. But now they're trying to make it, normalize it to use nukes. All right, so this war that kicks off over there near Ukraine with nukes now could be an ongoing thing until they use the ICBMs. You know what I mean? Like they may use tactical nukes, small different stuff locally, and then ultimately they use the ICBMs to hit bigger targets like America. All right, so the fire is being kindled and shall not be put out. They're not going to stop it. Check this out.
Knowing all of this, will Vladimir Putin still follow through on his threats? Is this just brinkmanship, or is he serious about using a nuclear weapon? Logic says he won't, but history is proof that logic tends to not inform such decisions, and that ignoring any threat from Vladimir Putin is unwise.
All right, so yeah, ignoring any threat from Putin would be unwise for the West, because they're saying logically, they believe it will end up bad for Putin. But I'm sure Putin's considering that and putting things in place for that. The Lord is controlling his mind right now. It says the fire is kindled and shall not be put out. Man, they ain't gonna be able to stop it till it consumes the foundation of the earth. All right, so Putin is not controlling anything. It's the Lord controlling Vladimir Putin and everybody upon the earth. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahawah. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. See? All right? See, they like, yeah, Putin going to stop it. He might change his mind and everything go back to normal. Nope. This is all to bring about the Lord's will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but Yahawah pondereth the hearts. All right, so it's going to happen. Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior, see, this is a war for soldiers, is with confused noise, just like the movie 300 or Braveheart. They would fight up close with swords and knives and garments rolled in blood, people bleeding, and a lot of noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, right? Because this is that nuclear, instead of nuclear age, now they're going to move to the age of using nukes, all right? So this is going to be dealing with, uranium, nuclear fuel, fire. This is Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. All right, the scientists that help to establish these missiles and to enrich the uranium and to advance the technology of Russia and China, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, for the Lord's work. See that the instrument that they brought forth is this missile. All right, so the Lord is controlling it. I have created, see, and I have created through man, right? The Lord used man to do it. He has created the waster to destroy. That's that big giant missile, man. All right, that's the waster. Okay, so, all right, so she kept saying that they already made the Russian army combat ready last year, so they already ready there. And America's at DEFCON 5, man. All right, which is a high alert level, preparing for an attack against this place. So they go from combat ready to getting the missiles combat ready, putting warheads on the actual missile. See, right now they're not attached, but they got them. And then when they prepare to shoot them, that's when they attach the warhead to mount the warhead to the missile, the projectile, and then they shoot it off. All right, so that's what the Lord mean by sharpen it, man. It says here, Psalm 7 and 12. If he turn not, see, if the Lord doesn't, turn away from judging this place, which he's not. If he turn not, he will whet his sword, man. That means to sharpen it. That's why he said the sword that he has are sharp. They prepared. All right. And they can pierce through anything. It says, he will whet his sword. This is it right here. It says whet. And that word is la tasha or latash. It means to hammer out, to sharpen. And the Lord has already sharpened the sword, got it prepared with the scientists. And now he's going to get them combat ready to be shot off. To be sharpened, to sharpen a sword. All right, just like a blacksmith would prepare the swords for war. That's why he said, I created the smith that blew up the coals in the fire, that prepared these missiles. All right. If he turned not, he will whet his sword. All right, his sword is the missiles. Let me get that. All right, just real quick, Isaiah 34. And I'm going to start, just get to the point. And 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. What does that mean? Is it going to take a bath? No. It's talking about it's going to touch the sky, because the heavens is the Shemayim. That's where the waters are at, all right? And for my sword shall be bathed in heaven, man. Sword represents destruction, to destroy. He said he brought forth the waster to destroy, and the waste, he said they're going to be utterly wasted. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, meaning it's going to touch the sky. They're going to be shot off. They're not going to sit in the silos forever. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. See, it's going to be in the sky, and they will come down upon America. And upon the people of my curse to judgment, so the 2/3, and anybody that's here that's wicked, they're going to be judged according to the scriptures. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood, man. All right? And it is made fat with fatness, man. You see that? So it's going to be a lot of bloodshed. That's what that means. Okay? And it's going to increase. Once it hits, it's going to increase, meaning it's going to be a large explosion from a little missile. It's going to be fat, meaning make great destruction and bloodshed. And with the blood of lambs and goats and the fat of the kidneys of rams, meaning all the military, the politicians, all their wealth and land and technology, it's all going to be burned up. For Yahawah hath a sacrifice in Basra. So America is a place of sacrifice, and sacrifice is something that's prepared to be burned or destroyed. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So it's going to be a great slaughter here, man. All right, so that's the Lord's sword. Let's get back to the scripture. This is Job 20 and 24. He shall flee from the iron weapon, man. So they're going to flee from those giant missiles. And the bow of steel shall strike him through, man. All right, that's why he says it's gonna come down upon Idumea, America. And it is drawn and cometh out of the body. I mean, it come out of the missile silos. America, they have to bring submarines or aircraft carriers over here to do it, and planes. But Russia, they can just launch it right from their own soil, and it can go kilometers all around the world. All right, so it is drawn and cometh out of the body, meaning out of the silos. Yea, that's like a bow, of an arrow. The glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him, man. Okay, so the glittering sword. So it says here, Psalm 7 and 12, if he turn not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow, meaning prepared it. All right. Got him prepared, just like in the silos. To tread, to walk, to string a bow. Got everything ready. All right. The rock. It says to tread, to march, to press, to bend. A bow bender or archer. To go, to cause to go. So the Lord caused these missiles to be prepared. And he called the archers to get ready. All these nations. All right. And he bent it with his right hand spiritually and got it prepared for these last days. And he have also prepared, there you go, Khan. He have also prepared for him, for himself, for his own satisfaction, the judgment that the Lord going to bring on this place. So he has also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors, man. So the Lord has ordained them and ordered. See, ordain. It says to do, to make, to practice, to do or make. So he made these missiles against the persecutors. Let's see the persecutors. It says to burn, hotly pursue. To burn. See, that's what we're going to do in the kingdom. We're going to hotly pursue these heathens. All right? The scriptures say that we're going to burn them up. The Lord going to raise up the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. And Esau going to be for stubble. All right? And they shall kindle in them. That word kindle means to dalak, which means to hotly pursue. All right? So the Lord has ordained his arrows against the nation that has been against the Israelites and Esau, So the Lord has ordained his arrows against these damn devils and against everybody that has fought against Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, the city of peace, the elect. All right, so let me get this last one. All right, I'm going to read this real quick. Zephaniah 3 and 12. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of Yahawah. See, we trust in the name of Yahawah, and we've been afflicted by the persecutor. You see that? And poor. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies. That's the elect. Neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth, right? Because they're not going to be defiled with women. They're going to be what? Virgins, pure in the truth. They shall feed and lie down, right? The Lord said he's going to lead us by green pastures. And none shall make them afraid. And that's right, ultimately in the kingdom. We're going to feed and we're going to lie down. We're going to eat in the scriptures, right here where we at, being nurtured. And in the kingdom, ultimately, take our rest. Sing, O daughter of Zion. See, the Lord telling us to sing, man, in this song. All right, speaking the truth. Sing, O daughter of Zion. That's the elect, the government of Israel. Shout, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. See, we should be joyful because our salvation is close. Yahawah have taken away thy judgments, man. So he's going to remove the curse from upon his elect. That's called exemption. The Tawah, you know. So he's going to take it away. He have cast out thine enemies. He's going to cast these devils out of their rulership. Especially talking about the elites. The king of Israel, even Yahawah, is in the midst of these. See, in Revelation it says his temple is going to be with us. So through Yahawah and Yahweh Shah is going to be with us. And Yahweh Shah is going to be on the earth. He said his tabernacle is with men now. Is with Israel. Thou shalt not see evil anymore. Wow, man, you know. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, which means the city of peace, going back to New Jerusalem, okay? The elect. Fear thou not. That goes with Isaiah 41. The Lord said, fear not, because I'm going to uphold you by your right hand. And to Zion, let not thine hands be slack. So to us, he's telling us, continue to do the work. All right, don't be slack. Have faith. You know, when things get tough here, don't give up. Have faith and do the work and teach. Believe without seeing. But someday he's going to let us see it. All right, as he letting us see the prophecies. Yahawah, thy power, Yahawah, thy power in the midst of thee is mighty. That's right. He will save you. He will rejoice over thee with joy. So he's going to rejoice over us one day, Yahweh Shai. Sit there with you in the kingdom and drink wine again with you and give us crowns and sing to us. All right. He will rest in his love. He will joy over you with singing. You see that? So in the kingdom, the Lord going to be joyful, man. He's going to be singing and all kind of stuff, man. With King David, you know, the choir going to be in place. And I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly. So he's gathering the ones that have a contrite heart, all right, for the sorrow assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. So the one that actually felt it when the Lord was blaming us, that responded and repented, all right, and that's the elect. Behold, at that time, see, that goes to Revelations 11, but the Lord sent his spirit into us, and we stand upon our feet, a great exceeding army, like in Ezekiel 37. And then great fear falls on a nation that see us out there teaching. You know, as we cry out in the streets, as Proverbs chapter 1 tells us to do. Wisdom crieth out in the streets. And it also said, scripture say, thy eyes shall see thy teachers. And these heathens are going to see us as well, according to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. And they're going to see our salvation. And Revelations 11 tells us that the Lord going to say, what? Come up hither, right when the missile's hitting. And the 10th part of the city falls, meaning the whole country of America going to fall, all right, in the destruction. So, verse 7, verse 18. Wow, so like verse 19, behold, at that time, so we're in that time right now, will I undo all that afflict thee. Man. And I will see, and I will save her that halteth, you know. So you're going to save her that's being held back. Okay? You're going to save the woman, Israel. All right? That right now we're lagging in the earth as a nation. So the Lord's going to save us from that and push us forward to growing and being lively as a nation. And gather her that was driven out. See that? And he's going to gather us. He's already gathering us through the Spirit, and he's going to send out his angels to physically gather the elect, according to Psalms 91. In the book of Matthew as well. And I will gather them, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they were put to shame. It's going to be good and bad, you know. A lot of people not going to want us to be in power, but a lot of people are waiting for it. So it's going to be praise and fame. What's that? Spiritual power. All right. And it could be bad fame as well. You know, martial law persecuting us. Those are the men. At that time will I bring you again, even in that time that I gather you. Right now. Right now, we in that time, man. Like, this, you gotta really meditate on that. This is the time. This is it. We in that time. For I will make you a name and a praise among all the people of the earth. You know, refreshing the name of Israel and Yahawah's name in the earth. When giving us power over these nations and a kingdom, royalty. When I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith Yahawah. And that turning back before our eyes, meaning he's going to allow us to see it. All right, he don't have to allow us to see it. He can just put us back in our condition, have us die and come back, and we're in the kingdom. But he said he's going to allow us as the watchers. He commanded the porters to watch. And he's telling us to watch, being the witnesses in this theater. And he said, I'm going to allow you to watch and see our captivity be turned back. That's why we can see Russia, what they're doing. We see it on the news, and we're able to watch every step of the prophecy play out. All right, as the Lord turns back our captivity before our eyes.